What up, guys? What up? What up? What up? Welcome to another vlog. Vlog. I think I might be calling these movies now. You know what I mean? Because every time we hear, man, yo, this seems like we're doing different things, right? So today, guys, today we want to talk about the homeless issue. Why so many slums are creeping up and cropping up everywhere, bruh. You know what I mean? It's becoming, I don't know, it's becoming insane, dude. You know what I'm saying? There's not even a word to describe it anymore. People are just now occupying any open spaces. So like the parks are taken, sidewalks are taken, pavements even too. People can't even walk now. You know what I mean? So let's dive into that and see what we can uncover. Let me know what you think in the comment section below of this topic. Holla. Okay, so guys, let's start with the problem. So the problems I think are population growth, right? Population expansion, right? Internal migration, external migration, budget allocation, and definitely space, land, like land issue, right? Okay, that's what I'm thinking. That's what I'm thinking, right? Okay, it may not be all that, right? That might not be the only thing, but I think these are the main issues, right? So it's those, right? So let's start at the top. Population expansion, right? Sometimes population grows so fast, so big, that it catches the government unaware in a way because they were not projecting such an exponential growth. That catches them off guard, right? That's why. Two, two, during a census, not everyone is reached, right? They don't count every single human being, right? So they'll just give a rough estimate of what they have in the system, right? And they're going to run with those numbers, right? And then let's just say the people come down from the mountains or they come up from caves and they come from underground, wherever, where those people were not reached. Now those people also need to be accommodated, right? And then that adds to the problem of population expansion. That's another thing. Okay, population expansion, that's one. Now let's start with internal migration. Every country has its economic hubs, right? South Africa is no different. So South Africa has Gauteng and the Western Cape. And obviously, let's just say KwaZulu Natal, right? Those are the three main economic hubs in South Africa. Now, imagine everyone migrates from the poorer sides of the country, right? Poorer areas of the country, right? And they move into Gauteng, the Western Cape, and obviously KZN, right? Can you imagine the population explosion due to the increase just from internal migration? That's just internal migration, nothing else, just internal migration. So population growth and then internal migration. Now, that already is a recipe for disaster, right? Okay, is there a solution? Obviously, there has to be a solution. Right. Now let's go to external migration. So external migration, these are people from other countries coming into the country. Now, that is now a triple threat now to what? To what's currently happening, to the population growth, to the internal growth, and now we have foreigners coming in. Right. We have got to be accommodated. That is another problem that we have. Okay. Fourth, I said budget allocation, right? So budget allocation, that's a tricky one because they're not really they're not really sure of how much to allocate to this problem because one, they're going according to the census, right? So if the census says there's about, let's just say, roughly 2 million people, so they're going to allocate a budget for 2 million people. And like I said previously, they don't reach everybody. So they only provide a budget for 2 million people. And yet there's 2.5 million or there's 3 million people. Do you see what I mean? That's another issue. Budget allocation. And the last one, this one is tricky. This one is tricky. But even in the budget allocation, guys, there's a slight problem there that I'm going to talk about in the solution section, right? there's something with the budget that it doesn't sit well with the population actually. Okay. And then the fourth one I said is space. So land allocation, space, land availability. That's another issue. Okay. So everybody knows that the land is an issue, right? There's not enough space, commercial use, residential use, private use, public use. Everyone needs a piece of land for everything. So there's not enough land to go around. Okay, so that's a big issue as well. Okay, now we know now we know the 4 5 problems, right? So then next we delve into the possible solutions. And this one is going to be critical, trust me. Hold on for that one. Okay, so the solutions, right? The solutions. Guys, let's start with the internal internal migration issue, right? One solution to that: companies need to be incentivized to establish, grow, and develop and build enterprises and economies, especially industries in neglected areas. You know what I mean? They need to be incentivized to go out there, so as to reverse the influx of people and make people go back to their original homes. People are leaving their traditional places of birth and residence because of lack of opportunities. If companies were incentivized to go back to like the rural areas, the far-flung areas, and build and attract investment there, you know what I mean? That would be a great help, you know what I mean? But now, what can government do to let the companies, like big multinationals and local big businesses, invest in the smaller, far-flung areas? I think one great way is tax reduction, tax cuts, and obviously other business-related incentives. You know that they could actually, um, the government could also not really like subsidize, but government could give them tax breaks and import costs can be cut and certain other aspects that I'm not sure of. You know what I mean? Because I'm not in business, but I do know tax cuts is like one big thing that companies always look for. Those are loopholes they're always looking for. So government could actually step in and do that. What else? What else? What else? What else? Government could also assist in providing, let's say, accommodation for 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 for, for workers of companies that do not want to relocate because they don't know anyone that lives in that area. You know what I mean? Or people that can't go back home, or them incentivized to say, okay, your salary, government will assist companies in giving a higher salary, you know what I mean, to the people that are in Joburg that can go back home and say, okay, I'll be nearer to my house, I'll get more money, and you know what I mean. So that's just like two examples I can think of off the top of my head. Second one was population growth. This one, there's no way of trying to stop this one because people are going. The population has to increase. I mean, we're not going to go the Chinese route and curb people and give them incentives not to procreate anymore. You know what I mean? That's going to be a tricky one because look what happened in Japan. In Japan, apparently the population is aged because people weren't really giving birth. You know what I mean? So we can't have that scenario play out in South Africa. That would be disastrous. You know, but having said that population growth is a problem, we still now need to find a solution to say, okay, instead of having 4 or 5 kids, reduce it to at least 2 kids per family. Do you see what I mean? Instead of saying banning the outright total of having kids, no, we just reduce the number from no more having 5 kids, guys. You can only have 2 or 3 kids per family, and then see how that goes. Right? That could be one. It could be another way. Then I said, so internal migration with a solution. We have population growth with a solution. External migration. Now, this one is key because we need to protect the borders. We need to make sure not every riff comes in. We need people that are going to be productive, that are going to supply much needed impetus to the economy, and we're going to need a whole lot of mental capacity and hands on deck that can actually do what is required, like the race skills that South Africa really needs, right? Those people can come in, obviously tourists and all that. You know what I mean? But it needs to be controlled. That's where the thing is, because a lot of people are just coming in and nobody knows from where and why. You understand what I'm saying? Okay, that's that's external migration, right? So we need to control the borders. That's the main thing. We need to control the borders, right? Then I said it's budget allocation. Ah, census, bruh. Census is a difficult thing because you can never be 100% accurate with the census, right? So therefore, the budget allocation is equated to the numbers given to the treasury, right? So what they need to do is they need to work on a rough estimate and say, okay, instead of 10 billion, right? Because we know that not everybody was covered. Let us give an extra 5 billion maybe, just in case. Understand what I mean? Like that's what I think. They should increase the money. Problem is they're stealing the money. So now how are we going to solve that? You know what I mean? So we need to stop that. That's another thing. Okay. Last one. Returning the budget to treasury. That should stop. That should totally stop. Solution to that: use up all the money that's meant for the allocated departments. You see what I mean? You cannot be using only 70% of the budget and then sending 30% back. No, we need to use 100% of the budget. That's the reason why it was allocated to that specific department. Use all of it. Last one. What is the last one? The land issue. Okay, government is failing to build houses at a fast rate because there's not enough land available. Okay, totally get that. But why is the government going with the brick and mortar model when government could actually be going with a container model? If they're going to do the brick and mortar model, government should then go with blocks and rows of flats or apartments instead of doing houses because that's more costly and that takes up more land than what is required. If government has, let's give an example. If government has a hectare of land, right? How many blocks of flats can they build on that hectare instead of building individual units? Understand what I mean? So we have two solutions: blocks of flats and container homes. That should be a short, quick fire solution to curb the housing crisis. And that is what I think would really help the homeless people. Shelters are good, but then the problem with shelters is that they come with rules, and the homeless don't like rules. That's another big issue. So that's what I'm saying. The container homes, blocks and rows of flats and apartments building up instead of going sideways. You need to go up now. We need to do a high-rise buildings now for the homeless. Even if you're going to use corrugated material, like the strong corrugated that they don't burn themselves in, like the normal shacks, right? Something strong, something sturdy. That for me would be a great solution. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. Holla.